Good evening. Welcome to the June 10th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Becky McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thanks.
And do we have minutes? No. Okay, well, this is our next meeting then. All right, department head reports. First up will be Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, Lebanon Police Department has responded to 743 calls for service. A total of 17 people were arrested for the following crimes: 6 for operating while intoxicated, 4 were wanted on a warrant, 3 for domestic battery, 1 for driving while suspended, 2 for possession of meth, and 1 for possession of a controlled substance. In that same time frame, LPD took 26 crash reports and sent 2 gun permits off to the state for final approval. On May 28th, Officer Trey Kamaj instructed a 2-hour class on building clearing. This class focused on the fundamentals and practical application of tactics used to clear buildings. The class ended with a force-on-force scenario using marking cartridges. On June 3rd, Officers Robertson and McCloskey attended a use of force instructor course. This course is designed to equip them with the comprehensive knowledge and skills necessary to train and lead officers in defensive tactics and use of force situations. The goal is to elevate the standard of training within the department to ensure effective, safe, and legal compliant use of force. Then the last thing I just wanted to update you guys on was back in March, we started a hiring process. We're looking at losing one of our officers to retirement in August. So we were trying to get prepared. We have completed the physical agility and the written test. We're getting ready to start the background investigation portion of this, and we're currently down to 7 applicants. So just wanted to update you guys on that. I'll update you after the background, see how many we have left after that.
Sounds good.
That's all.
Chief, any questions for Chief from the board? Oh, from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next will be Fire Department, Deputy Chief Hendricks.
Good evening. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 123 emergency calls for service, logged 312 training hours, completed 74 commercial inspections, finalized 9 commercial pre-plans, and installed 2 car seats. On June 3rd, Lieutenant Sam Doherty volunteered as a camp counselor with Hoosier Burn Camp. This marks Sam's 12th year with the organization and his 10th year as a counselor there. So we're pretty proud of everything that he does with them. He's pretty passionate about it, so it's kind of nice. June 7th, Lebanon Fire Department hosted an ISO Public Protection Classification class in the Herman B. Wells room at Lebanon High School. The lead instructor was John Beard, who is a fire protection analyst with Verisk Analytics. And at that meeting, we had 11 different counties represented there. And that's just one of those things that it was kind of perfect timing for us. He reached out to us and wanted to know if we wanted to host the class for him. And I myself have never been through one of the ratings that we're about ready to go through here. The last one we did was 2018. So it's just kind of some good information to start gathering all the info that we need for that. So it was a very good class. Also on June 7th, the evening, our newest firefighter, Jacob McNair, graduated from the Pike Township Fire Academy. Jacob's first shift was today, where he's been assigned to the B shift on engine 212. And lastly, I just wanted to bring attention to this. We've just recently purchased and started the installation of a device called Safety Cloud by Haas Alert. And these devices are going to be installed in all of our frontline apparatus. Sorry. This new system will automatically notify other motorists in the vicinity when we are running emergent to a scene. This notification will be displayed over the vehicle's infotainment system as well as their phone navigation apps. So it's kind of a newer thing. It's starting to get a little bit popular around here. I don't know if anybody else in the county has it yet. I don't believe they do. But this is one of those things. As soon as we get in the truck, we get dispatched on a run. We turn our lights on. The device automatically sends out to any, I don't know what the exact radius is, but basically a radius around us. So like I said, if somebody's using their GPS, it's going to pop up there and it'll say, like emergency apparatus in close proximity or something like that. It'll actually turn the volume of the radio down. So it basically just gets their attention to let them know that we're coming down the road. So we're really pretty excited to get that going. And I'm sure once we do, we'll put some info out on Facebook just so everybody's aware of kind of what it's doing. And it's just another one of those risk management things. So that's all I have.
Chief, any questions for Chief Hendricks in public? Thank you, sir. Next is Parks and Recreation, John Messenger.
Good evening. Hot Pond and Conservation Pond both have been stocked with plenty of catfish, bass, and bluegill. I think everybody knows because both ponds are pretty crowded right now. 200 catfish at the Hot Pond, about 2.5 pounders. Quite a few of them were caught, but it is catch and release and fishing derby. Anyway, we closed Seashore Water Park again today due to the cool temperatures, and have moved our swim lessons for today and probably tomorrow morning to LHS. I have a nice relationship with the high school. We'll reopen tomorrow. Seashore Water Park will be open. Splash pads remained open and nobody was down there again today. Awfully cool. I think it hadn't even reached 65 today, so we all understand. New drinking fountains have been installed at both Abner Longley and Memorial Park. They have bottle water, so you can get that, fill your bottles up. We've removed several trees on the trail and in our parks. We've had quite a few events there at the end of May. Just to name a few, the Megan Hammerly and Harney Elementary hosted their field day in Memorial Park. Just a lot of kids around. It's nice to see everybody out. Sage Yoga has now hosted their third free yoga class in the park. A few more coming up, so check out their social media pages for more information. Kiwanis, like I was saying earlier, annual fishing derby was held 2 Saturdays ago on June 1st. Had a great turnout, 170 kids, and nobody got hooked other than the fish, so that's always good. But yeah, bass trophies, it's really nice what Kiwanis does for us out there. I want to thank them for all their help. It was held at the Hot Pond. Look forward to next year. On Wednesday, June 12th, we were partnering with Mermazing Princess Parties to host story time at the cabin. Come to her cabin from 10 to 11, and that's this Wednesday. Again, to enjoy a story from Rapunzel and make a craft. The cost is $5 per child. It'll be a nice day. The Boone County Cancer Society will be hosting their car show in Memorial Park on Saturday, June 15th. They will have food trucks from 11 to 7 with car show judging at 4 o'clock. Community band will be performing in the park on the next day on Sunday, June 16th at 7. The performance will take place on the Joe Hall Bush Memorial Bandstand stage. We will be hosting our summer pickleball tournament on Friday, June 21st. Pool play will begin at 6 p.m. with a double elimination tournament to follow. It's a co-head doubles tournament, and you can register online or over the phone. Costs us $30 per team, and that includes a T-shirt and bragging rights if you win. The Baby Boone, Little Boy Boone, and Little Miss Boone contests will take place Saturday, June 22nd. They've all been listed. As far as that goes, that was last Saturday. All these cute little kids will be out there on June 22nd, and we'll figure out who is all those Boone contest winners. Central Christian Church will be hosting their worship in the park on Sunday, June 23rd. They'll be on the bandstand stage. Activities for the 4th of July really kick off on Saturday, June 29th. Please visit the Boone County 4th of July Facebook page for a list of activities, all the dinners and all those non-for-profits to do that. And the carnival will be in town from July 2nd until July 7th this year. July 2nd to 7th. Again, it's not poor jacks, it's Hughesman. We had them last year, very pleased with them, very family friendly, and appreciate them. They were very good to our park. So that's all I had.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board or the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next will be Engineering Department, Kim Krulik.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Project updates from around the city. Let's see. First on the list, let's talk about the Grant Street Phase 1 project. We've completed all contract improvements, and we had a final walkthrough with the contractor and NDOT last week. Reminder one, that NDOT does hold the contract on that, and the punch list has been delivered to the contractor, and they were on site today, starting to make final walkthrough repairs and close out that project. Riley Road, jumping across town. All the storm sewer work is in except for some trench drains on some driveway approaches and one sidewalk crossing. Those 2 trench drains will go in here shortly, really with the final pour out of the concrete. But essentially all the storm sewer, all the concrete pipe is in. The excavation for the widening is nearing completion, and next steps would be to put down that asphalt and then resurface the road. Obviously, then sidewalks will be kind of the last thing as we then roll into fine grading and seeding. Also want to note, I have some questions from property owners. Any property corners that were removed or destroyed during this process will be reset by a qualified registered land surveyor. On the Fordyce Street project, utility relocations continue to go forward, but as of last week, the contractor, which is Milestone, started making some saw cutting to begin their water construction, their water line construction. We found out late last week that we're going to have to be delayed slightly, about a week delay. Water was supposed to start this week. We're delaying that because Lebanon Utilities has requested we upsize the water main from 6-inch to 8-inch. They caught it at the right time, and there's not a whole lot of delay, just some restocking fees and things like that to switch from 6-inch to 8-inch. But Lebanon Utilities will be bearing any increased cost to the city with regards to that change. A remote road remains closed, from Morningside Drive over to John Bart, open to local traffic, but no through traffic. Appreciate everyone's cooperation on that. On the Noble Street project, this is a ways out, but our RFP for our engineering services was issued by NDOT, and that submittal deadline was last Friday. We only received one letter of interest, and that was from the Shrewsbury Corporation, who was the engineer that helped us put that application together. So we'll review that and come back to you with a recommendation at your next meeting. The 180 makeover program, I just want to call attention to that. Those projects are coming in fast and furious. You've seen a few of those on your agenda for later in the evening. Before tonight, we only had one project that was under contract and ready to move forward, and that was the Boone County Cake Company related to their outdoor patio. And later tonight, pending your approval, we will have subrecipient agreements in place for a project called the Lido, which is 124 South US or State Road 39. That is the corner, northwest corner, 3932. Collier's Corner, 126 South. I'm sorry, I think I got those wrong. 126 and 124. Both of those are together. Collier's Corner is the building just north of the building on the corner. And then we've also got before you tonight, pending approval, would be the Eichmann Exchange, which is 124 and 126 North State Road 39, better known as Paradise Shaved Ice, the old Net Tech building. And then Oaks on Main is also there for your consideration. So more new projects coming in on that basically owner-occupied rehab program. Stone Eater Bike Park, jumping to park projects. As of just a few moments ago, I got an update that we are about 2.6 miles completed on our trail system, which essentially means cross-country trail 1, cross-country trail 3, and large portions of Cross Country Trail 1 or 2 are complete. Skill Trail 1 and Skill Trail 2 are complete, and Skill Trail 3 has started. So we're well on our way. We're a little over a month in, and we had a really wet first 6 weeks of construction. They're making good production rates now. They got a crew of 7 people out there, 4 people building four people building these skills trail courses at about 300 feet a day, and 2 guys building the cross-country trails, a little higher production rate there, about 1,000 feet a day. So lots of good work going on there. We did some soil testing last week to try to figure out how we can best increase our chances to turn the site green, and we are reviewing those. Want to thank John Messenger for also taking a look at those and getting some assistance from some of our local contacts that he knows in the sod business to try to get some recommendations for how we can see better production. Other park projects, just want to give you a quick update on the Abner Longley Fishing Pier. We had our pre-award meeting today with a contractor that will probably be building the railings on the west side of the pond. And happy to report those are within our budget. And then we should be seeing final proposals on the fishing pier in the next week. So hopefully be able to come back to you in 2 weeks with a full update on the railing costs, the pier costs, as well as potential path extensions around the pond, and hopefully ask for your approval to execute contracts and move those forward. But things are going well there, and numbers are trending in the right direction. Other park projects, the Big Four Trailhead expansion at Sam Ralston Road. Bids are out on the street, or the bid package is out on the street. Bids are due at your next meeting on the 24th for opening. And we are now just waiting for Triangle Asphalt Paving Corporation to sign the contract for the Reese Park paving improvements. Other projects, police department projects, police station sewer repairs are complete. Concrete has been poured, the flooring is back in place, and things are working much better than they were in the past. So
You didn't include that in your update, Chief? Okay, fair enough.
And then we've got proposals in for the HVAC upgrades at the police, or at the fire station, excuse me. And that was on your agenda for tonight, but we got one proposal that we've had since February, and we're asking them to update it. So I'm probably going to table that tonight until we get an updated proposal, so we can make a fully educated decision on how we move forward with that project. DPW projects, getting ready to kick off our resurfacing program for the year. We had our open house last week on the 4th to talk about the Anderson Lane project. Our community crossing applications, our agreement, is in place, and we are scheduled to have that pre-construction on June 18th with DC Construction as they begin that work. And then last but certainly not least, just some Leap District road improvement updates. I drove the site this morning. On the Whit Road North site, everything has been surfaced and shoulders have been complete. Guardrail has been installed. We're really just waiting on striping and the final signals to go in at State Road 47. That will complete that project. On the eastern bypass, also in a similar state, all the asphalt surfacing has been complete. The shoulders are complete. And again, just waiting for signage and striping to be installed. We're expecting signage and striping to go in this week and signals to go up next week. Other projects in the area.
Hey, Kevin?
Yep.
Sorry. On the Eastern Bypass Road, will we accept that like as a dedication of right-of-way from them?
Actually, yes. Thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention. Those right-of-way documents are filtering into our office for approval, and that will have to come before you at the next meeting as they hopefully are complete with the project by then. Then we'll bring those to you for acceptance of that Eastern Bypass right-of-way. And we also need to be thinking about a name. I know you and I have talked about that, but we need to name that road as well. So. More to come on that. 450 North really is as far as it can come without the CSX improvements. Same thing on 375. We're just waiting on those final agreements for CSX, as well as the funding agreement between us and the IEDC. So the CSX agreement has to be signed by the local entity that owns the right-of-way that crosses that. And we have that application, and we're ready to execute that. But we're not going to execute that until we have the funding agreement in place with the IEDC that guarantees they will bear all the expense for those improvements, which has always been understood. We're just waiting on those to come in from the attorney's offices so that we can execute those. Whit Road South, the widening is complete. That's fully under construction. We've issued permits for the Whit Road section of the project, as well as the new roundabout at County Road 300. And the signal at 300 has been up for about a week, and later in this week, it's currently been flashing red. Later this week, it will go to fully operational, and you'll see a newly operating stoplight in that area. That's all I have.
Hey, Kevin, any questions for Kevin from the board, from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next will be Plannerman Ben Bontrager.
Evening, board members. Planning activity over the last couple of weeks. We completed another 128 building inspections, so we're still averaging 12, 13, 14 inspections a day. So it's very heavy activity. And also just issued 73 building permits, and that does include 15 new single-family building permits. So seeing really strong activity there. On the commercial industrial side, we're still seeing the permits rolling out on the Lilly site. So that's where a lot of the new permits, new construction permits, the foundation permits, the ILPs, those are all just basically rolling applications and permits that we're issuing in the Lilly site for each building as they're going up. And I'm sure a lot of you heard the recent announcement from Lilly about additional investment out there. So we do expect to see another development plan application coming in probably sometime later this summer or fall for some additional construction that will take place out there. So a lot of good activity there and a lot of good activity on the residential side as well. In terms of code enforcement, still seeing a ton of activity just in the last couple of months. In terms of new cases, we had another 57 new cases over the last couple of weeks. So now I'm keeping a running total now because it seems to be very heavy activity. We're at 185 new cases in the last 7 weeks. So seeing a lot of activity right now, and we're getting and so we're responding to a lot of those, and we're getting a lot of good response from folks. But again, just be patient. If folks have sent something our way, be patient as we work our way through all these. We do have one code enforcement officer right now looking to get a second one in place, but we are working our way through all those new cases and making sure we get those addressed in a timely fashion. So that's really all I have for this time, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the public? Thank you, sir. All right, next is Public Works Department, Jason Lawson.
Good evening. So since our last meeting, Public Works is still planning the new crosswalk and crosswalk controllers and signage at Camp Street and Lafayette Avenue. We still plan for that in July, and I'll work with PR and we'll get something out on that. The street department update, they continued mowing their easements. We're down, we used 2 tons of asphalt filling potholes, so that's way better this time. We replaced and repaired 10 street signs. We painted curbs where necessary for no parking in Countryside, Gulfside, and Chadwick subdivisions. They're working north to south on the areas they didn't get last year. The stormwater update, they repaired a storm drain and poured a new curb on Garofalo Boulevard. They demoed and rebuilt a storm drain on Hall Baker Road. We responded to 261 utility locates. We placed riprap stone around the overflow pipe at the DPW facility pond and televised the main storm pipe on Esplande Drive for inspection. And that's all I have. Oh, sorry, the inspections report. So we did 13 SWIP inspections, 29 right-of-way inspections, and fielded 3 complaints.
Thank you, Jason. Any questions for Jason from the board? Public? Thank you, sir. And no Joe tonight. That's right. So that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. Nothing on my agenda. Is there anything from the board? Okay. New business then. First item up is a street closure request from Patrick Clues at Clues Brews.
Hello. June 15th is our 3-year anniversary. We're going a lot smaller this time, but we just want to do our extended terrace, so the 4 parking spots next to our patio from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's request one. That would be the same request for July 13th. We're having a wedding reception, so they requested that additional space as well. Same hours. So the June 15th, July 13th. And the third one, July 6th, as a class reunion, would be closing East Washington Street from Meridian to East Street. Same hours, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Questions on those from the board?
What was that last date?
July 6th.
Okay.
These are all street closures.
So the first two are just the parking spots? And then the second one is the full just of Washington Street, correct?
Correct.
Prefer we did the full closure
What was
instead
the
of
first date again, Pat?
June 15th. Yep, this Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, would you prefer a larger closure, Judge, or is there?
I will again express my concern about using traffic spaces for people to sit when vehicular traffic is also designated in that area. I have a safety concern over that. I'd rather close the street. That's my concern.
Your thoughts on that? Would entertain, well, I understand where you're coming from. I think we've done in the past, I think it's worked.
Does the construction that's going on with the library create an additional problem here or not?
Well, and that's kind of what I'm curious. I mean, if the board has those concerns about closing the parking spots, I mean, could we just do that like a half block there? I mean, is that a big of a change? I mean, if you would feel better about it, right? I mean, your patrons probably wouldn't care if it was a half block closure to the alley, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Or prefer to do that?
Like a meeting.
That doesn't give you a whole lot of room, does it?
It's the same, basically.
From a safety position, that'd probably be the best way to do it.
Do the half block
Yeah,
closure?
that way we don't have traffic running by, people there in the benches,
Patrick, are you okay with that, or Jason?
Yeah, I mean, that's all the space I need for actually all three, if that's what you want to do.
So for all three would be a half block for? I thought
Yeah.
the third one was a full.
I only need the half. I would just request the full and then only use half.
Jason, you were saying something? Go with it. So is there a motion then to approve just a half block closure there from Meridian to the alley on Washington Street on dates as presented? Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. All right, give you a little more space then, Patrick. That worked?
Thank you.
All right.
Do we want to approve the other one or just?
I just did them all three as one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Next up will be policy changes from Lebanon Police Department. Major Hood.
You should be getting me swapped over here. I'm going to bring 5 to you late this afternoon here for review and potential approval. All 5 of these policy updates are designed to make our policies compliant with the Indiana State Accreditation Standard. So that's the basis for all of these. First and foremost, in our firearms policy, you will see ammunition added to items that the chief of police and the range master must approve. That's nothing earth-shattering by any means on there. It just means that any ammunition our guys are carrying in a department-approved firearm is also approved by the department. The second item that you'll see on here involves firearms discharge. It requires, short of a range qualification or session such as that, anytime officer discharges his firearm, not only does he make a verbal notification to his supervisor, it also involves a written report at this time. So we've added written report to that criteria. And the third and final update for this particular policy relates to removing a firearm for service. Anytime that the range master discovers or an officer discovers a firearm that needs to be removed for maintenance reasons or malfunctions, whatever on that, that firearm is removed from service and remains out of service until it can be certified to return. If the firearm's unable to be certified to return to duty on that, it'll be replaced.
What happens with the old firearms if you have to replace them?
Usually what they'll end up doing with those is if it can be made into some type of training aid on there, it may be done with that, or it will be destroyed, you know, if it's unable to be repaired.
Questions on that from the board?
No.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion then to approve the policy changes for the firearms policy?
Motion we approve the
Or should we just,
firearm policy.
the motion approved, but yeah, should we do them all at once? Everybody fine with that, do them all at once? We'll do them all at once, all right. Sorry, I don't leave your motion hanging there.
Next up is the handcuffing and restraints policy. Adds a notification on there that officers shall secure all arrestees, detainees, and or prisoners in handcuffs or other restraining device during transport unless an exception for securing the person applies. If the exception applies, it should be documented in the applicable report. Usually some of these exceptions that it may refer to would be like a pregnancy or a prosthetic or a cast or something that would prevent a handcuff from being applied. Okay. And that is the only update for this particular policy.
Any questions on that policy? Okay,
Property and evidence section, go all the way down to the end. This just authorizes or mandates that the chief authorize any use of items that would have been held in evidence, an evidentiary item, or in custody property if it's used for training or something of that like that the chief's got to approve its use. Oftentimes you'll see this like, for example, marijuana in a case that may be discontinued or resolved that they'll use to train a canine or circumstances similar to that. So that adds investigative or training aids requirement that the chief approve those before they're deployed.
questions on that from the board? Okay,
Search and seizure, what this does is it just adds some more specific examples to exceptions to search warrant. Kind of an extension of that plain view doctrine, adding plain touch, plain smell, and word instead of just deed on there. And update to this particular policy.
questions on that? Okay, final policy?
And the final relates to traffic accidents. And what this does, it instructs supervisors anytime a Lebanon Police Department vehicle is involved in an accident, preferred it should be an outside agency that's investigating it. It also adds a criteria on there that our supervisor should follow up to make sure any of those reports, crash reports, are done in a timely manner. And it adds a meaningful review section on there to where supervisors are reviewing the crashes, determining if there are any training shortfalls or anything that we should be doing better on that end. So, and this concludes all of the policy updates I'm requesting approval for.
Any questions on that final traffic update from the board? Okay, we'll entertain a motion then to approve the policy changes as presented.
Revisions to the LPD policy as presented.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those are approved. Thank you, Major Hood.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we've got the subrecipient agreements. Kevin Krillick. Do you think it'd be easier to kind of explain all these at once and then just go through and do the approvals?
I think that's appropriate. Yeah, so there are 4 subrecipient agreements before you tonight. These are virtually identical, at least in form, from the subrecipient agreement that we executed for the Boone County Cake Company project. Again, these are all for the 180 makeover program. These are all agreements that are between Greater Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce, which is the recipient, and the City of Lebanon, which is the subrecipient. And these are all related to ready funding that is coming through the IEDC. So there are 4 before you tonight. I'll give you the details on them just so that you've got an understanding. I mentioned these briefly in my report. The first one is on your list is what we would call the Eichmann Exchange, which is the building at 124 and 126 North Lebanon Street or State Road 39. The total project budget is $2,254,902. The ready funds that will be funneling through the subrecipient agreement total $150,000 to be used for masonry repairs, as well as doors and windows. $110,000 for masonry repairs, $40,000 for doors and windows. Again, that's the ready funds that will be funneled through the subrecipient agreement that the city will put under contract on behalf of the owner. And then the owner will be subject to a reimbursement agreement for those expenses.
What's the total for this one project then?
Total project?
No, just for this one.
$150,000.
150,000? Okay.
Yep. The next project is Oaks on Main, the new coffee shop that's going in at 109 West Main Street. Similar scope on our fees or our the money involved at the grant. Total project cost though is $1,067,429.95. And of that, the ready funds that we will help to manage through the subrecipient agreement total $147,429.95 to be used for HVAC improvements. So that is the Oaks on Main project at 109 West Main Street. The next project is the Lido, L-I-D-O, at 124 South Lebanon Street. The total project cost here is $698,000, and the ready funds that will be going through the subrecipient program will be $149,000, which is made up of $44,000 for storefronts, $80,000 for electrical, and $25,000 for plumbing, to total $149,000 in ready funds. And then the last project is 126 South Lebanon Street, South State Road 39. That is Collier's Corner. This is that northwest corner of 39 and 32. Total project cost $698,000. Ready funds is $149,000, made up of $54,000 in storefronts. These are storefront windows. And $95,000 worth of electrical improvements, again, totaling $149,000. So again, 4 projects. Eichmann Exchange, 124, 126 North Lebanon Street, $150,000. Oaks on Main, 109 West Main Street, $147,429.95. The Lido, 124 South Lebanon Street, $149,000. And Collier's Corner, 126 South Lebanon Street, $149,000. Again, 4 separate subrecipient agreements between the City of Lebanon as a subrecipient and the Greater Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce.
Any questions on those from the board, or again, very similar to what we did with the Boone County Cake Company, we're essentially a pass-through entity with it. So
Exactly. We are a pass-through. This is not unlike a traditional owner-occupied rehab program, but the problem is these are federal funds, and so they have to go to someone who's qualified to receive federal funds, like a city or county. So they're funneling through us. We will manage the project's bidding and contractual obligations. The money will just pass through us to the end user, to the project owner.
Yeah.
Do we have to do these individually
No,
or just to all 4 of them together?
I think we could do a motion and do all 4.
There's one caveat that we would probably put on this, and that is the project at Project Eichmann Exchange that is subject to RDC decisions related to the building cell and development.
Let's do a motion then to approve subrecipient agreements between the Greater Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce, City of Lebanon for Oaks on Main, the Lido, and Collier's Corner. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve as presented.
Okay, motions, are a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That's approved. And then we'll entertain a motion to approve the subrecipient agreement between the Greater Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce and City of Lebanon for the item exchange pending redevelopment commission funding approval.
I'll move.
Motion, second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, board. Okay, next up will be a project award for the Lebanon Fire Department headquarters for the HVAC updates.
Yeah, I can make these
Oh, we're
next,
tabling that one, right?
these next two items here, the award for the fire department, as well as then the CSX construction agreement, as well as the funding agreement for IADC. We need to table all three of those items till the next meeting.
Motion to table items G, H, and I. Is there a second?
Second.
I made that motion. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those items are tabled to take us up at our next meeting. So that concludes what we have for new business then, at least on my agenda. Anything from the board? Okay, we'll move on to claims. Entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
Motion for the claims. Is there a second? Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion? Okay, we entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion adjourns. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be June 24th at 6:15 PM. Redevelopment Commission is up next. All right.